All right. Welcome back to Clubhouse Conversations. My name is Brian Penny. If you don't already know me, I am the editor and owner of Clubhouse Conversations on Reddit, Substack, YouTube, and the general internet. What I've been doing lately is the Clubhouse has announced their Creator First, 25 Creator First pilot season creators that they're going to support for the next 3 months. And I am the only person who attended all 51 of the pilot season finalists. So I'm going over all of the I've already gone over all the people who won and who should have and should not have been included. Now I'm going over some of the people who lost to go break down what they did and what they could do better, what they should have done, things like that, whether they should have been included. And today we are going over PK Comedy, which is Paul Kim's A Love Song to Clubhouse, which was a musical comedy. So there were several things that were going on this one that were great. First things first, so many people during this pilot season stole music. I would say 99% of the Creator First pilot season finalists used stolen music. There were, well, 90%, I guess. There were two that had original music, and they used the same basic musicians. And PK Comedy, Paul Kim was one of them. And this concert actually was a really good concert. If you have not seen any of the live musicians on Clubhouse, there's a lot of really good ones. I highlight a few of them here: George Coe, Mimi Lee, Omi, David Choi. There's a lot of people on here that are amazing, amazing, amazing musicians, and here's the thing with just like the comedians, any of the entertainers, the musicians as well, all of the places that they could have possibly performed were closed down. Pianists can't play in a hotel lobby because the hotel's closed down. Bands can't go through to bars because the bars are closed down. And so they kind of had issues because everything started going virtual, and you had to have numbers on social media in order to get any kind of gigs. So I spent 4 months on Clubhouse, and most of that time I spent watching some of the entertainers that were going through, and I easily spent about $300-400 in each month as soon as they allowed tipping, just to pay homage to all these different comedians and musicians and actual performers, voiceover artists, actors, actresses, all of these people. And it adds up after a while, $5 to $10 at a time. And so George is actually one that I'd gone to before. He was Omi too. I've been to several of their performances, both of them. And so going through to this was an easy performance. I knew that this was going to be fun. Everything on here was great. They all have, not only do they have some original music, they know how to play some standards and different genres for each one of them. They all have different instruments. They all have different styles. And they also did a lot of Clubhouse remixes for everything. So whenever they would play a song, it would be kind of related to Clubhouse. That was kind of the point of it. Paul himself was great at everything. He's been around comedy for a little bit now, several years. Go down in the comments, you can see his website and one of his performances from the Laugh Factory, I think is what I linked down there. And so he did a really good job. He knew what he was doing. He emceed the entire show. He acted as the host, which is something that is not easy to be able to host an actual show. And he proved that he knows what he's doing. He had some comedy in between. He had his own performance. He let everybody else shine, but he also, took the time to show that he also belongs there. And this was probably one of the better performances. I would say this is easily in the top 10 of the pilot seasons of all 51 that I saw. And I mean, it really boils down to that. It was the music. It was a live concert on Clubhouse featuring all these brilliant musicians. There's so many amazing musicians that are starting to use Clubhouse. The problem with the more famous established musicians is they tend to come onto Clubhouse like Justin Bieber and Nicki Minaj and Usher. They just come into Clubhouse, they talk for a minute, and they leave. They don't want to be a part of the cult. They don't want to do anything for free. They're not into it. And these people are starving artists. They're hungry musicians. They want it. They're willing to do whatever they need to do for it. And because of that, they are able to come on here, adapt their instruments to the iPhone, and make some magic happen. They're the ones who forced Paul essentially to do the one update he actually did was to make the audio quality, or at least make different different levels of audio quality. He didn't make it better, but he made it the different levels of worse. and it was for the musicians. And I mean, they are. This was a great performance all the way through. And also, I mean, this is the other part of this is that it was a comedian who was featuring musicians because a lot of people on Clubhouse are cliquish. It's very cliquish. So the marketers support the marketers. The comedians support the comedians. The musicians support the musicians. Those kind of things. Even though they're all competing, they put themselves first. And I mean, he went across boundaries essentially to get different performers from different disciplines outside of his own, and that was good to see too. Because I mean, none of the other comedians, all the other comedians did great jobs. All the other the productions were really well done, but I don't recall any of them. Maybe one. No, there was one with a DJ that was doing the remixes on Jury Duty for Lavender, but besides that, nobody else had any live music. There was no other. I mean, everything was pre-recorded. There was some original pre-recorded stuff in the Bippity Boppity Who. There was Passenger Shaming had basically Muzak. That would be, I mean, it was likely the license-free music because that's all it needed to be to get to give the impression of the airline that they were going for. Everyone else stole music or didn't use any music at all. Either way, both of those are crimes in my particular, my opinion. But one of them is actually a crime, and one of them is going to get people cracked down on so hard on Clubhouse. You have no idea. So the entire time that I did this review, I mean, I'm basically begging everybody to please like hire musicians, hire everybody, hire people who do the sketches, who do the word things, like the little words graphs of your things, people who do any kind of PTR art, voiceover artists, comedians, musicians. Get the professionals in there. Stop trying to do it yourself. You're not funny. You suck. You're not good at what you do. You can't do an impression. It's all garbage. Just get the professionals and leave it up to them. That is the one recommendation I would have for all of Clubhouse, because the biggest reason that Clubhouse is going to fail is because there are too many people who don't know what they're doing, who are pretending that they do. And that is on every end. There are scientists who are not scientists, doctors who are not doctors, comedians who are not comedians. There are too many people who are there pretending and faking the funk. And the other side of it is that, I mean, the musicians that come on that are big are just not playing. They just don't care. They would rather come hang out, and like Snoop Dogg would just bring a bunch of women up to scream and just like hang out with them and try to get their numbers and shit. But nobody, he's not out there rapping. He's not going to rap on Clubhouse. He's not going to use this as a performance venue. And then you get people like James Andrews, who just sits there all day running music on a playlist. We're going to go into the Audio Collective too, and how all that works, and how Terrence Southern got promoted through the Audio Collective into Creator First. That's next week. But yeah, all of these musicians that are, I mean, there are so many musicians on Clubhouse that deserve to get their shine, that deserve to have huge audiences. Don't give them money. Go follow them on every single social media outlet. Clubhouse is the one that doesn't even matter. Don't even bother following them on Clubhouse. Follow them on Instagram, follow them on Twitter, follow them on Facebook, join their Facebook page, become fans of them everywhere, and they can show that to go get jobs outside of Clubhouse. But until then, this is basically the street musicians that are trying their hardest to grind the Clubhouse streets. And I mean, I don't know. I mean, we've got, this is the other thing, is that musicians in Creator First were just completely ignored. There were no beatboxers in Creator First. There were no voiceover actors. There were no DJs. There were no guitarists. There were no, like, nothing. They just completely ignored music in Creator First, and it's a shame. If anything, they should have at least given it to Paul Kim. He deserves it more than the 3 of the 4 NPR people for sure, because they were just fame whores who were clinging on. Beyond that, these people are the ones that you definitely you would want to follow when you get on Clubhouse to get some live entertainment. And that is all for today. This is Brian Penny. This has been Clubhouse Conversations. Be sure to follow the channel down below. Subscribe. You can become a member if you'd like. You can also subscribe to my newsletter. Go to the subreddit, become a member. There's all sorts of ways to keep up with everything that I'm doing. We're going to have daily streams. I have the schedule put up for next week. And yeah, until then, we will see you tomorrow.